Hey everybody, what's going on? All right, so getting right to today's demo, which is to sort of try and get the rest of this lip sync finished. So all I did from last week was I got the aim of the eyes, because it was sort of like just like up to a certain point, and I just sort of got the eye direction kind of figured out. I mean, not so much that it's figured out, it's more just I wanted to, like, so when he's looking this way and the eyes are looking this way, I just wanted to center them up so that it wasn't super distracting. So I just did a quick play blast here of the latest, and just to see like the whole thing, and then we'll see the lip sync up until like the halfway mark. All right, so let's jump right in. I want to make sure we're recording. We are. All right, perfect. All right, okay.
Now look, no one is to stone anyone until I blow this whistle. Do you understand? Even, and I want to make this absolutely clear, even if they do say Jehovah.
All right, cool. So there is one tiny little thing that I did in here. I basically just took this pose and then just kind of flattened the brows here. And then for this part where he's going to be scrunching up, I just did one pose there, and then one pose here where it just kind of goes to a stretch and then to a settle. But that may not even be the same expression that we're going to go and use. And then I used the exact same scrunch right here just to see where it was going to be, and then the last open expression, just so I could see what's actually happening. But I feel like it's moving, right? And it feels like we're in sync, which is good. Whether it's polished or not at this stage doesn't really matter. It's more important that I get it in sync and I get the right flavor of the actual character.
Now look, no one is to stone anyone until I blow this whistle. Do you understand? Even, and I want to make this absolutely clear, even if they do say Jehovah.
All right, good.
Now look,
right, so let's hop right into the actual shot here. I'm going to close down my window here, just so I've got my channel box, and I've got my scroll around camera for the audience view. I'm going to hide everything except for the character and the curves, and that would be good. And then this is our audience view that we're using. Okay, so if you have a chat, like just throw it down there, and then I can answer it as I see it. Okay. Very cool. All right, so let's shorten this timeline down to where we left off. All right, so basically around here. Understand? And then we're going to go right into this. Okay. And I'm going to select. We already have our mouth, all that stuff worked out. All right, cool. So we have this pose, and then it's going to go right into here. All right. All right, feels like I'm anticipating here quite a few frames beforehand, but I feel like we probably don't need to go as much. Actually, no, we probably do, because it's good to actually see the change, like of the lip sync before he starts to move. That way we can actually see it, right? Rather than hiding it like between this broad move right here. Like, it's very clear for me, but it wouldn't be as clear for this guy, right? So let's go ahead and set a key, maybe at like 180 or so, like of this same expression. And then I'm going to start to open up for this even, right? So I'm going to open up, and then I'm going to keep the same emotion, right? So it's important to keep the same emotion. So I'm going to bring these back so I get like the wider feel, right? All right, and then I might even drop the lower lips, just so I get a little bit more of that. And then I want to get a little bit more sneer happening on the sides, so it feels like you're really getting into that even. All right. So for me, like, just to recap on my approach to lip sync, it's more important to hit the emotional aspect first. Like, hit that, because the way the character is saying the actual dialogue is going to affect everything, right? So like, if this character was mumbling and sad, it would be completely different shapes than just regular neutral sounds, right? And then that's the second thing. I would animate to the sounds and not necessarily to the letters, okay? So not necessarily to clear, like that's the way it's spelt, but the way he's saying is clear, you know? So it's like later on, like, it absolutely clear, you know. So it's not like clear. So if I did an R, tight R sound there at the end, then it would actually be wrong. It won't sync, okay? All right. Oh, I'm gonna just mute you guys because I can hear some background noise there of plates or something. So let me just mute you all. And then just, you know, if you want to actually ask a question, you know, chat it in, or you can actually unmute yourselves and ask it, all right? That way we can keep the recording nice and quiet. Okay, perfect. Okay, so E, right? So I'm gonna scroll through this, just cue over that window. E, okay. All right, and then like, I'm gonna try to get the V shape just one frame before this, just so I can get it to read, because it'll be hard to make a V shape read at that point, at that level, right? So let's see if I can get this one to read a little bit more even. Okay, so mouth, save a key. Okay, now, so let's grab on the jaw. Bring that up. Okay, and then I'm going to bring these guys up as well. And maybe just a little bit forward. So it basically goes from this E, and then going to start to come a little bit more towards the front. Not all the way. I don't need to go like all the way through here. That doesn't matter. It's more like that I want to hit this because he's saying like it pretty loud. So it's even, right? And then what I'm going to do is grab on the middle lip there and then curl the lip in even more. So it feels like he's really biting it. All right, and then let's have a look from the side here. Just rotate this up a bit. So it feels like he's right in there. Okay, and then I might raise up the front part here of the front of the muzzle. So I get that. Okay, drop down the sneer on the other side. Just so it feels a little bit more like that sound. Okay, and here. Maybe bring these guys up a little bit, but still keeping the corners down, right, to keep that emotion. Eve, that's good. Okay, maybe a tiny bit of squash to go with that, that sound as well. Okay, and then maybe a slight bit of, well, I don't know. Because I don't want to get too swingy with the jaw at this point. Okay, that feels like it's going to work. Okay, might sound like it's a tiny bit early, but I'd rather see that shape, and let's see if it actually works in sync. Okay. All right, Eve. All right, and then get the open mouth here. So again, I'm trying to find like where the major changes here are here in the dialogue. So I'm looking for like the broad shape right there. Okay, so set a key there. Okay, and I could probably start with this shape here. So I'm going to copy that shape onto that shape for the mouth. So I can start with that, and then we can go from there. Okay, grab the corners, drop it down. And that's not looking too bad already. And I might even translate this one instead of just rotating it. So it's a little bit more straight down. So I can see the jaw. All right, and then get the tongue to come up. Okay, and I'm going to scale the tongue here as well. Let's make it a little bit bigger, just so I can really see it from this angle. And then the tip of the tongue, I'm going to bend forward like this. So I can see it going up to the roof of the mouth. All right, I'm going to close this up just a little bit because it almost makes it look like a different shape. So I'm just going to close it up a bit more just so I can get that N shape to feel right. Even. That feels a little bit better. Feels just like a more solid shape. Okay, now let's go through here. So it's even and then straight to Okay, so right there, let's hit that shape. I want to make this absolutely clear. Okay, okay, so drop the mouth. And I'll rotate the tongue kind of down like this. Okay, maybe a little bit lower. That way. Okay, and then I'm going to drop the sneer down a little bit more, just because it does sound like he's being a little bit more sincere here, and I can see it in the shape too. Even, and I want to make absolutely clear, but he's still not a happy camper, right? He's still got that same corners down kind of feel. Okay, good. And then maybe even a little bit of stretch going down this way. Okay. Make sure everything's key there. And okay, maybe a little bit broader. And maybe a little bit more narrow, because I do want to see a bit of a change there. From this wide to that. Okay, maybe the sides. Like, because that color separation is really going to help us. Like when we go from these wide shapes to the narrow shapes. Okay, good. All right, next. Okay, I got a U shape. And I want to make my, okay, so let's go to that, 196. And I know we've got a bunch of these already done, so let's try to get something that we've already hit, like for whistle or something. Maybe we can get that. Okay, could start maybe from this one here. So I'll copy that. Hold on, where are we? That's not the one. Where am I? So let's say 196, okay. Okay, 196, copy to there. Okay, great. So it's a great starting point. So maybe rotate this up a little bit. Maybe a little bit of rotate out. And then what I might want to do is just get a tiny bit tighter. And that looks like it'll work. Okay, and we get that little swing happening over here. And that's pretty good. All right, I'm not going to touch that. Okay, so and I wanna. Okay, so let's hit that shape. Okay, so wanna. So it's like an O and an N sort of together, right? So I'm going to start with start with this shape maybe. Okay, because it's in the same sort of family here, like that corner down fill, just closed up a bit more. One, okay, and then get the sneer a little bit further down. And the one next to it, a little bit further down. Okay, and then I'm going to raise these guys up a little bit. So let's grab like the whole lower, just so I can see the tops of the teeth, I think. Okay, good. I want to make this absolutely clear. Okay, maybe a little bit more forward. Good, all right. Drag that a little bit more over this way. Okay, and then the tongue up. Okay, good. Okay, up for the M shape. Okay, so let's close the mouth here. Okay, grab the squash, bring that up, and then grab the overall mouth and bring that up so we get like a nice squish on that, but in the same expression, right? So we get that kind of feel. And then grab both cheeks, grab that out, and maybe make it a little bit higher. Right. I'm going to grab the bottom lip here and just bring that a little bit forward. Good. Okay, here, I'm going to set another key here because it is basically the same M shape, but just less squashed. So we get that little bit of compression right there. All right, good. Okay. Okay, so that's pretty much the same shape as the one we used before. So 204, so like right in, like this one here. So we use that as a jumping off point. Make, okay, good. And then grab these two on the sides here just to make it a little wider so we can see a tiny bit more of those teeth. Make a little bit more up on these back ones here. Okay, make. And it's a may this, so it's preparing for the T shape that's coming after it, the TSH, like this. Okay, so let's get that shape right there. Okay, close up. And now we've got like a TH, or like at least like an S shape. So 208, let's grab that one just so we can speed this process up a little bit. So that one right there. Okay, make this. That feels pretty good. Happy, right? Oh, no, what was it saying? Oh, absolutely, right. Absolutely. I feel like even in the reference, I feel like we need to get like that abs, you know, so a little wider here. So I feel like I need to get like a nice broad shape here that I did not quite get in the reference, because it's very loud, right? And then right around 212, like we can get right into the P shape. Okay, so I'm just going to hit that, and then let's get like, yeah, we could probably start with this shape here. Copy that over to there, and then start to roll it forward, like for that absolutely. So it's up, so pushing these guys forward a little bit, curling them. Absolutely. Okay, so I'm going to push this up a little bit further. And I think that will probably do it. Okay, and then we've got to try to get that shape happening earlier. So start to prepare for that. So let's copy it there. Okay, so I'll just relax the mouth here a little bit there, and the front, bring that down a little bit. And a little bit more towards the front, I think. Okay, just want to see a little bit more of this bottom lip pushing forward. Okay, bottom lip, maybe roll it out a little bit more. Okay, let's just see that from a different angle so I can really see it. Aha, okay. So let's bring this forward. That's fun. I like that shape. That's kind of cool. Let's see if we can clean it up a tiny bit. Up. Okay, something like that. Yeah, that's fun. Okay, save a key. Up. And then it's like keeping it forward. Right? Absolutely. Okay, let's get that ooh shape again. Oops. Okay, might be a touch too much forward from this angle. Let's bring it back a little bit. Pull that back. I'll bring the lip forward. Okay. And then bring it down. So it still has that ooh kind of feel. Okay. Actually, that's kind of cool, the way they kind of push forward for that shape. For loopy. Okay. All right, and then let's pull it back for E. Okay. Let's hit this one here. Okay, let's pull it back here. So I'm probably going to get there. Let's make sure we grab the whole mouth though. I guess it is. That is the shape, but just from this angle, it doesn't look like it's working. Okay, so let's open up the mouth a bit. And I raise the upper lip to really get to see the teeth from this angle. That's good. Okay, maybe push this a tiny bit further. Maybe pull these back a little bit. No, actually, might be okay. It's like you kind of keep shaping them like so that you get the most appealing read on the actual character, even if it looks a bit weird from different angles. Like this looks okay. Like that's crazy, right? From this angle, that doesn't look like it'd work at all. But this works fine. And I'm not afraid to do something like that, especially like if it works from a different angle. As long as like it doesn't cause any problems lighting-wise, it should be okay. I'd much rather see the shape rather than sacrifice the shape for the lighting. Okay, now we can bring it probably back to this. Okay, copy that to there. Okay. All right, then we can open it from here. So we can get the tongue and everything else working. Okay, so bring it up and then I'm going to rotate the tongue this way. And then let's push the sneers on the back. Okay, and then the squints here, let's get this all the way up so it really feels like he's really pushing for that. Okay, grab this and this, get this a little higher. Whoops, that's the whiskers. I don't want to do that. Grab these guys, the cheeks. Get a little bit more this way, and then push this up a little bit further to get a little bit more squash. I feel like I need to push the upper lip up a little bit more so we really get to see a little bit more extreme on here because he's really exaggerating that sound. Yeah, something like that. So you can get to see the sort of like the pained expression. Okay. And grab like these guys, bring them down a tiny bit. Yeah, something like that. Okay. See the key there. All right, and then there's that broad shape. Clear. Okay. Craziness. Okay, so copy that to there. Let's see how broad we can make this. Okay, open this up, get the stretch going. Grab the corners, bring them down, get them nice and wide. Okay, and maybe bring the cheeks in a little bit. And I want to keep the sneers going, so like it expands both ways, so it goes this way too. Okay, and then let's have this affect the nose. And maybe we can get that to come down a little bit that way. And maybe like the whole mouth, like, can come down slightly. So we can get a bit more squash and stretch on there. Okay. This nose area here, maybe we can get a little bit of stretch out of that. Okay, good. All right, and I want to see a little bit more of this tongue too, so I'm going to scale this guy. And then I'll, I'll rotate these guys down. So just get to see a little bit more of that shape. Yeah. I feel like that tongue's got to be important for that harsh L. And even I'm not really doing it, but it might be nice to see, like on the breakdown here, like seeing like a little bit of overlap on that tongue. Yeah. Let's hit a key there. And go maybe slightly wider here. Go slightly up with it, you know, so it feels like it goes a little bit wider and then out. Clear. Okay, and then as a settle, yeah, I probably want to get a little bit closer. Let's go back to something a little bit more. Maybe something like this. Let's try it out. Let's go to 245 here, just to see where that shape is. Okay, somewhere there. Okay, I'll bring the tongue down. And I'll get that sneer back in there just because it feels like it lost its emotion. I look kind of a little bit more hopeful, but you know, I feel like he should have that sneer going, I think. Yeah. And then close up the jaw a little bit more. Okay, good. All right. Copy that to there. It feels like it's just a tiny bit of a settle. we'll keep that in there. Okay, so let's do like a quick play blast of just that little section there, just so we can get to see how it's feeling. And we can make any quick changes. And now I'm going to save it just in case. G3. Any questions so far? Hopefully it's all making sense. But yeah, so like anytime I'm doing like these kinds of fast dialogue shots or any real dialogue at this point, but especially fast dialogue where I don't really know which shapes I need to favor or which shapes like will make it perfectly in sync. And this makes it really just a lot more clear, you know. Even if it if I do push things as I'm going, or I may need to pull it back later on, but at least I'm making decisions and I'm kind of looking for those major changes. So anything I'm doing, I'm still learning from it, right?
Blow this whistle, do you understand? Even, and I want to make this absolutely clear, blow this whistle, do you understand? Even, and I want to make this absolutely clear, blow this whistle, do you understand? Even, and I want to make this absolutely clear, blow this whistle, do you understand? Even, and I want to make this absolutely clear, blow this whistle, do you understand? Even, and I want to make this absolutely...
And it is sort of like we kind of still miss that even part right in here.
Even.
So I'm gonna anticipate that just a little bit more, but everything else felt like it was pretty much in sync, which is good, right? So good. All right, cool. Thank you, Richard. Richard says it all makes sense so far. All right, cool. So let's see if we can just kind of push this a little bit further backwards, even though like it might be a little bit more out of sync, but it at least feel like we're starting to get into that shape. I'll bring this one maybe a little bit more forward. Yeah, it's really out of sync now, but let's see if this helps at all. And what I'll do is I'll try to push this a little bit more just so I can open the jaw. And push these guys down a tiny bit. So at least I'm kind of opening the mouth and then starting to get into that wider shape. And then right in here, pull it up a bit more, but still keep the corners down. Okay. I'm going to push it here even as well. See if I can just keep that shape going. Something like that. Okay. Okay. All right, so it feels a little out of sync now, but let's see like as it plays 24 frames per second. See if it feels better. I don't know if is this playing real time for you guys when I actually do a play blast? Because I know like I'm not doing that that codec thing. I'm just using the Zerbrig play blaster. I want to make sure that seems like it's working pretty well. Because the QuickTime just wasn't working at all. But even though it takes a while to compile it for some reason, because it's a bigger file, it's probably like 800 megabytes or something without any kind of codec. But it feels like it's playing it right.
Blow this whistle, do you understand? Even, and I want to make this absolutely clear.
That's better.
Blow this whistle, do you understand? Even, and I want to make this absolutely...
I can even just open that mouth a little bit more, just for that even.
Blow this whistle, do you understand? Even, and I...
Yeah, because it feels now like I'm actually anticipating it, even though like there's a big head move there. So that starts to feel a bit better. So like right in here, let's just open his mouth a little bit more. I can really see that preparing there. All right, good. All right, questions. Yep, it's playing. Okay, cool, sweet. Very nice. Glad to hear it. Okay, so let's keep moving forward because I feel like we're getting closer here. All right, even if they do stage over. This will actually go fairly fast because he is moving his head quite a bit through here. So we can use a lot of the shapes that we've already started to work out. So like in here, this even, right? So we can probably go right to that shape, probably hit that. Okay, and then we'll hit this one a little bit here. So it starts to go into that. We'll probably keep the corners down just a little bit, but I still want to keep that broadness going. That feels like it's going to work. All right, the cheeks might be a tiny bit too much though. So let's pull those back. Just a little bit. Just so we still see the cheeks actually come up, but like let's not go too crazy yet. Okay, that feels good. All right. All right. And then we can go right into, that's actually a pretty good shape. It's already starting to work. So maybe just open that up a little bit more. Eve. All right. So starting to prepare for there. So in here, probably like 63. We'll try to get that F shape. I know I've got everything selected there, which didn't actually work out too badly. But let's try to get that in there. Eve. And I'm starting to pull forward just slightly to get that nice and pushed. Eve. That's good. Okay, and then the lower lip is starting to prepare to come up for that V shape. So that's feeling like it's working. Okay, good. Eve. Okay, open the jaw again. So let's go, so 60, 65. Hop back to here. I'm gonna use some of these shapes. And that'll be fine because it's been covered over. All right, get back to the F shape. Right here, so 68. Pop that in there. Okay, if they, right? So the TH shape, like, so he's moving so quickly here, like he could almost get away with doing anything. So like I'm gonna just go grab this shape right here. All right, let's grab, that's okay. And then let's move the lipsync over here just a little bit further. Okay, mouth. So the key there, and then go right to that do, like an U shape right there. Okay, and now I'm going to open the mouth. Okay, see if I can push the upper lip roll out a little bit further. Okay, that's good. Okay, and then we can maybe close the mouth up just a tiny bit with the seals. Okay, that's good. Okay, and then on the bottom as well. All right, just see if I can get that ooh shape a little bit further. Okay, I want to get a D looking shape, which is something like, I mean, even something like this shape here would be good. Copy that. Okay, that's better. Okay, and then we'll just get that to come closed, because it's got to be broad in here, otherwise it won't look like the mouth is even moving, right? So we've got to try to figure out what shapes will actually read. Okay. Okay. And I'm going to favor that previous shape. So I'm going to copy that to here. All right. And then start to work in the ooh. Start to work this in here. So start there, and then we can start to roll this out. Start to roll the lower lip too. And then start to get in the where it's going to start to seal up, right? So bring this down a little bit further, and these guys down. So it's starting to go from there into that. They do. Okay, keep it there. All right, and then we're going to keep it in that shape, because we're not even going to see the mouth, right? But I still want to feel it, right? Two. All right, and then we get the say. Okay, so save that. And then right here, we'll get an A. So something like that. Okay, you could probably bring the corners a little bit more forward. And up. And I'll probably like just start to bring down the upper lip, just because it feels like it's too far up. I can see too much gum there. Say, okay. All right, and then Jehovah, right? So let's see if we can get the lips curled forward here. And then we can start to roll it. So get these guys coming up here, maybe a little bit further forward. And then start to bring these guys down. Okay. I mean, something like that would actually work okay, right? So, because it's going to be super fast. So as long as it reads as like the lips coming forward, should be all right. And then the lower lip, maybe push that a little bit more forward so we can get that. Okay. J. All right, now we need this big open jaw. Okay, so I'm going to make this one from scratch because this one feels like it needs to be very clean, because it has to be nice and round and everything. Okay, so let's pick on the mouth and just reset. selected. Okay. And let's go to the upper lip, lower lip, roll out. Roll them out. Open up the jaw. Okay. And let's start working with the sticky lips. Okay. Okay, so keep with that shape, but let's see if we can get this to be a little cleaner. Okay, I'm gonna save. So I feel like Maya's gonna crap out, I don't know why. Just have that feeling. Just when you get to near the end of a shot, right? Okay. Okay, so let's see if we can clean up this shape just a little bit. Okay, and I'm gonna raise up the lower, because I really just want to see the lips and not so much the teeth. So let's see if we can get that kind of working. Okay, and then make this come in a little bit more. Good, all right. And then let's see if I can rotate these guys. I feel like it's kind of far enough forward, but let's see if we can just kind of get these guys to spread out a little bit more. Okay, that's starting to feel pretty good. Okay, open up maybe a little bit more. And let's work on the cheeks supporting that. Okay, open up the low lids. Okay, maybe a little bit more stretch. All right, good. So start with that. All right, and then we got to come right up to this nice tight V shape. Okay, let's hop into that and see how that looks. So let's zero out the stretch. Close up the jaw. So we want to keep it still tight like this. And then let's see if we can get that, that curl happening. Okay, pull this down a bit. And what I want to try to do is get that lower lip curl in a little bit further. So let's see if we can get that. All right, and then let's see if we can get a little bit of sneer as well. Jehovah. Okay, and then get a little squash on here. And then maybe we can push the corners a little bit further forward. But I still want to keep the smallness of the mouth. Okay, and then let's tweak this. Okay, rotate that in maybe and translate it down. So it's really important to get that V shape, right? Feel like that's going to read. Might push the nose up a little bit just so we get rid of that crease. And then maybe we can drag like the whole upper mouth up a little bit more to get that squash. And then I can always raise the teeth up. Hove. Okay, good. And then as the breakdown or whatever in between here, we'll probably start to get a little bit more of the mouth coming up a little bit more, starting to prepare for that shape. And even the nose going up a little bit more as well. So I want to keep it like that kind of narrow shape too. Just seeing if I can get that. All right, and then I can go a little bit wider here. Bah. Okay, mouth. Set a key there, set a key. Okay, let's find like a nice wide shape that we've already kind of worked on. Something like that. Copy that to there. Bah. Okay, that's actually not too bad. Okay, drag these guys down a bit. Bah, bah. Okay, a little bit more squash maybe. Okay, and then even on the cheeks, maybe we can push those a tiny bit. Make it go up a little bit higher. I do want to take the corners of the mouth down though. It does look kind of like he's smiling. It was probably because when we were doing this shape here, this neutral shape. Okay, maybe just here, just get a little bit more. That V, that's probably better. And let's keep it going there. So it's going to be favoring that V shape. So the A is like a little bit more explosive. So a little bit more there. And then it's starting to just spread apart just a tiny bit. That. Okay. And then we'll get just a nice finishing kind of shape, like where it comes up into something like this. Ah. A little bit more exasperated. All right. Get this to come up a bit more. Bah. Good. Okay, save the key. And we probably want to get a little bit more of the slow out on here, just so like the mouth actually comes down and beyond that. So we get a little bit more of a little bit of play there, right? So, and then before it comes back up. Okay, and then let's settle. Just right there. All right, so let's have a look. Let's grab the whole thing and just check it out. Let's save. Okay, so good. We did like the whole thing in about like an hour, which is great. And then when we got like a lot of time now, we can actually kind of work on expressions. Cool.
Now look, no one is to stone anyone until I blow this whistle. Do you understand? Even, and I want to make this absolutely clear, even if they do say Jehovah. Now look, no one is to stone anyone until I blow this whistle. Do you understand? Even, and I want to make this absolutely clear, even if they do say Jehovah. Now look, no one is to stone anyone until I blow this whistle. Do you understand? Even, and I want to make this absolutely clear, even if they do say Jehovah. Now look, no one is to stone anyone until I blow this whistle. Do you understand? Even, and I want to make this absolutely clear, even if they do say Jehovah.
Good.
Now look,
All
no
right.
one.
So my only part that I'm really, because like even in my live action reference, I closed my mouth, but I feel like I was getting ready for the next take or something. So I feel like we probably want to just keep the mouth maybe slightly open, like for a little bit longer. You know, it feels like it just sort of comes up and then stops. So I feel like Jehovah. If I just kind of leave the mouth open, it might be a little bit nicer. And then start to bring it up. So it just has like a little bit more of a looser feel through here. But surprisingly enough, like that, the whole bass section and the absolutely clear, that's all kind of working, which is great. Good, okay. Okay, cool. Right, so let's jump into expression land here. So there was a lot of stuff that I had in my 2D that I do want to have a quick look at, because like I wasn't really focusing on expression stuff here. So I do want to take a look at that, right? So I'm going to delete that. And then let's go view, select camera attribute editor. And I want to see what I actually figured out in my 2D pass. Okay, Jeeves shot, PNGs. That's the lip ref. Lipsync, I don't need that. Oh, Jeeves, that's the one, okay. Okay, use image sequence. Let's select it and then we can shift it over. All right. All right. I mean, this is kind of nice because I had like a little bit of a change up right there. So let's see if we can get some of that stuff in, because I feel like just from like this, I could be like, you know, lulled into a false sense of security here and say, oh, that looks okay. But I feel like it's nice to actually see that change up, you know? So like these little expression changes. So let's bring these guys down. Okay, see if we can push the expressions just a little bit further. So pushing that anger right there, and still like getting this sort of asymmetry going, like, but like it's more favoring where he's actually looking, right? So this is going to be higher than this one, like, so I can get that sort of design element working. Okay, so pushing that. Okay, and we'll get the brows. Okay, so I know like we did a lot of stuff on the eyes and everything, so I'm going to copy this expression. Okay. I feel like that should happen around here, around 58, 59. Okay, so I'm going to bring that back. Okay, so like right here, copy that to there. And start to bring them down here. Where I can really see the change, right? Okay, start to bring it down. Start to bring it down. Okay, so I want this little accent in there, but let's see if we can just kind of just play it down just a little bit, just so it doesn't feel like a big pop. That's good, right? And then we can start to work on this, keeping this alive.
Is the stone anyone?
Okay, so is the stone. All right, and then this is where we might hit that. I feel like here, like we could hit an accent, but I like this expression of just sort of like straight, you know, like lid, the brow covering the lid. So let's see if we can kind of push that. So it's like pushing it down a little bit more further, you know, so it's not like an up accent, it's more like a down accent. Like that kind of a thing, right? That's good. Yeah, that's good because so it gives me somewhere to go for later on in the shot, right? Good, okay. All right, let's hold that expression for that long, right? So I'm gonna think of what I need to do. I just want to make sure that, yeah, that's basically it. So it's kind of covering that wince too. Okay, good. Now I just want to just double check what I'm actually keying over, because I don't want to key over the eyeline stuff. Okay, so keep that going to there. All right, and then this is where like we'll start to have that little breath in, so we can play that expression. starting to get a little bit broader here. Okay, and then we can have that happen a little bit sooner, just so we can actually see it, right? Because if it's lost in the motion, it's going to feel like we didn't do anything, right? So I feel like if we start to raise it up here, it might be more effective. That's better. Okay. Okay, so raise up here. All right, and then let's see if we can get, the brows to come up. Okay, so keep them there. And then we'll get the blow, right? Let's see if we can get just a little bit of an accent here. Like to get that full squash and stretch kind of feel. This might be too much, but I want to just try it out. Okay, the lids are under there. Okay, good. Okay, and I'm going to push this up. So it feels like everything's sort of squishing together as a unit. Okay, copy that to here. And then this is where, so I feel like that should probably happen a little bit sooner. Okay, so I'm going to start it in there. Okay, and then hit this open below right there. Okay, so I'm going to grab all the brow stuff here. I'm going to copy that to there. And then let's open it up to here. Below. Okay, and then let's grab the eyelids and push those up. Okay, grab the wince, bring those down. Okay. So we'll open that up a little bit further, and then we'll keep it going. Okay, I'm going to delete that one. And copy that to there. Okay, raise those up. Raise up the lids. Okay, and then the sockets too. See if we can get those guys cleaned up a tiny bit. Just so it feels like they're kind of mirroring like what the actual what the brow's doing, and then I can raise these guys up a little bit further here as well. Yeah, especially if I've got to like rest on an expression, I want that expression just to be to support like the acting that's going on, right? So hopefully this will work out. So bring these guys up a bit more, and then I can bring these guys up a tiny bit. blow this whistle. Okay, I'm gonna just grab this one here. Just bring that back a little bit. It feels like it's happening a little too slowly. So I'm gonna pop this back over to here. That's better. All right, and that's good. Keep them nice and wide. And then we've got to figure out, like, so here, like this is all good. And we may be able to try to get a little bit of brow action to go along with the eye direction stuff, right? So if I go through here, like right in here, so we may be able to get like a little bit of brow stuff happening here, where like this one will come down slightly and this one will come up. So get that coming down and then start to raise this one up. Okay. Get a little wider here and here. Okay, I'm just going to grab this and this. Make sure that's copied to there. And the lids too. Okay, so I'm going to grab the brows. So I feel like there's a bunch of in-betweens and stuff in here that are keyed, but I don't know what's actually keyed there. So I'm just going to blow them away because it doesn't feel like we need them. Okay, so copy that. And let's blow away this stuff. Okay, and then let's copy this to there. And then this is where they start to come across. Okay. All right, now let's see if we can get just that expression kind of figured out. So like we're coming from there and then right here. This is where I want to get this brow just a little bit further down. Like this kind of thing. So I feel like there's a bit of a change up here. So it feels like a little bit stuck in the same expression, even though like he's angry and everything. I just want to try and push that a little bit further. Okay. So browse, set a key there. Okay, and I'm going to copy that to here. Copy it to there. No change needed there, right? And then it starts to change up here, right? So this is where I'll probably have the brow come down a bit. And start to raise up a little bit here. Okay. See the key there. And I'm going to stay there for a bit, right, until like he turns till he turns back, right? So stay there for a little bit. Okay. Okay, keep it in that expression. And then we'll start to work into this. Okay, so copy that into there so we know where we're coming from. And that feels like it's actually going to work okay, right? Okay, so this expression here, I want to hit like something that has that. I mean, this seems like a, well, I mean, it's kind of funny because it has that exasperated look, you know, so maybe we will try to go for something a little bit more high so we have that bit of a change up. So let's open these guys up a bit. Okay, raise these guys up a bit. And then we raise the sockets up. Okay, it'd be nice to get like some nice round shapes on these eyes. So maybe just kind of open this up a little bit further. Okay. And I remember saying like I wasn't going to do like that look left and right because we did that just before this, you know, so it doesn't feel like it's warranted to happen again, right? So let's, I'm going to copy this back so it feels like we're hitting that a little bit earlier. Clear, right to there, right? Delete this one. And then we can have that little bit of a settle there. That's okay. We'll keep it there until he starts to move. And then this is where like we'll start to get the anger starting to come in just before he moves. So it feels like we can really see it. And in the end, I want to end on something a little bit more angry. Right? Because that's where he's exasperated, right? That's where he's like, for goodness sake. So work on this expression to have something a little bit more in their face, you know, that kind of thing. Okay, browse. Okay, good. And now I'm going to just, it looks like it's already kind of set in stone. There's keys in here, and I think it's just because they're on the wince. Okay. Jehovah. Okay, so let's see if we can play that expression. Okay, so we start there. That's good. Okay, and then we'll get just a little bit more push down. So come up from there. And then as it opens up, then we'll get that little bit of raise up as well for the accent. All right, let's check it out. Okay. Hold on a sec. I want to see if I can. It's on its way. I was going to say I want to see it like in slow motion as it's play blasting, but that's okay. So once we have the whole shot looking on ones and everything's playing, it's nothing embarrassingly bad, then we can start thinking about all the overlapping actions, like the side hairs, the whiskers, you know, and anything else that may feel like we want to try and push. Okay, okay, there we go.
Now look, no one is to stone anyone until I blow this whistle. Do you understand? Even, and I want to make this absolutely clear, even if they do say Jehovah. Now look, no one is to stone anyone until I blow this whistle. Do you understand? Even, and I want to make this absolutely clear, even if they do say Jehovah. Now look, no one is to stone anyone until I blow this whistle. Do you understand?
So the blow this whistle feels like it's happening a tiny bit earlier. It may need to be happening on whistle.
Until I blow this whistle.
I feel like it needs to happen there. Okay.
Until I blow this whistle. Do you understand? Even, and I want to make this absolutely clear.
And then it feels like it needs just a tiny, like, and there is like a little bit of eye movement here. But I feel like I need just to have like a tiniest little bit of an eye dart or something in there to keep that alive. And I don't mean like the full on left to right, you know, just like beep, beep, you know, 1, 2.
Even, and I want to make this absolutely clear,
Beep, beep.
even if they do say Jehovah. Now look, no one is to stone anyone until I blow this whistle. Do you understand? Even, and I want to make this absolutely clear, even if they do say Jehovah.
Cool.
No, no,
all right. So
no.
it's starting to come together. Great. So let's delay that expression, right? The one over here. Blow this whistle. Okay. Now, I feel like around here, this is where it should happen, like 131. Right, so let's grab these guys, like this and this. Pull that forward, 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 forward. Somewhere around there, okay? Yeah, and then let's like push the accent just a tiny bit more. Because it really is like, it'll have like, it'll push through like this head move too. This whistle. Keep this down. Okay, that feels okay. Maybe a little bit slow. So let's go into 2s right here. Just get that a little bit higher. Whistle. And then it can settle here instead of coming all the way back down. And then it's going to start to come back down anyway into the next expression right here. Pink. Okay, so right in here, let's just make sure we got the eye selected right there, because it feels like there's a big kind of move there. So I'm going to copy that to here. Okay, and then we'll do like a tiny little move. Whoop, right here. And I'll just do it on the main look at. Maybe I'll just go slightly this way. And then back over. I might, instead of putting that on 2s, I might put that on 1s, just because it's got like that that kind of a feel to it. And the timing is everything on these ones. Like it might feel like it's not quite in the right spot, the right timing, but we'll try it anyway, and then we'll play around with that. All right, and then for some of these bigger moves, let's just put in some overlapping actions, like so we can really kind of see them in action, see what they actually do for us. Okay, so I'm looking for like the big moves, right? So coming out of that Jehovah for sure. All right, right here. So let's just kind of play right there. All right, so let's grab these guys and these guys. Save a key there. Save a key. And I'm going to start to overlap them down, right? Drag them down. But I'm not just going to rotate them. I'm going to translate them too. So I really get to feel a little pull. And then right in here, this is where I'm going to start to go the opposite way. All right, so let's zero that out. Really push them up. So get that nice overlap feel. Okay. Might be happening a little bit early. So let me just grab this one, bring it a little further this way. Okay, and then this one happens late now. Okay, boom. So it's going to happen over one frame. So I feel like, yeah, it should just be straight down, like this. Okay. Okay. Right here, start to bring them down. But again, I'm not just going to rotate them, I'm going to translate too, so I can really feel that they're actually moving. And it's great that it is just like one control, so I can just kind of play around with this like till I get like a nice curve on there. I just even drag them this way. Okay, let it follow through. Okay, let it come back a little bit. Okay, so it's dragging this way. Let's let it come back. Okay, let it follow through. Okay, drag. Okay, coming out of this. Drag up, right? So here, I'm going to drag it this way and then drag it down. Let it flip over. Okay, and let it come back to normal. And then here is where like I'll get a little bit more drag too. Right, so it's going to start to drag this way. Okay, keep them dragging here, but let's start to bring them down. And then here, this is where they'll come down. So it's starting to reverse the other way. Okay, drag down. But we can start to maybe even translate up a little bit. Okay, and then here's where like I'll start to bring them up a little bit. Okay, maybe a little bit more drag there, and then start to bring them down again. So just get a little bounce out of it. Okay, drag down. And then back up, right? Just for the little bit of settle. Okay, maybe right in here, maybe we'll just kind of set in a little bit of overlap. Like there'll be a little bit on all these harsh moves, but I'm trying to hit the broadest ones first so we can get a feel for it. Okay, drag down. Drag down. Little bounce. Okay, right in here. Might get a little bit of a bounce just for that accent. So a little drag right here. And let it follow through. Okay, a little bit of a bounce. So we get the slight wide and then let it come back down to normal. Okay, got the major there. Right here, right? So back up here, just copy your key there. Okay, let it follow through. Drag right here. Let it follow through there. Right, a little bit here. Just a tiny bit of drag here. We'll get it back to normal. So this is, I mean, adding this stuff like really does ground it. You know, it's a nice little way to give us a little bit more life to our shots. So I'm going to copy that to there and then let it overlap through. Okay, let's have a quick look. I'm really looking forward to getting this one actually finished and out of the way. Because I want to get the ears done on it, the whiskers, you know, and then do like the overall polish pass and everything. So it's going to be fun to finish this one off. But I feel like this character it's looking great. I mean, there's nothing in here that's not working, you know. So it's just a matter of getting used to that cat-like muzzle, you know, and trying to figure out those shapes. But once we figure it out, it feels like it's just a super appealing character. Okay.
Now look, no one is to stone anyone until I blow this whistle. Do you understand? Even, and I want to make this absolutely clear, even if they do say Jehovah. Now look, no one is to stone anyone until I blow this whistle. Do you understand? Even, and I want to make this absolutely clear, even if they do say Jehovah.
Cool.
Now look,
So like
no
the little
one
eye darts, you know, the little eye darts we put in here, that seems to work pretty well. Like that little ding ding, you know, boop, boop, you know, and the little overlap on the whiskers, I mean on the fur and the sides of his head, that's working as well. So it's everything's starting to polish it up, which is great.
Whistle, do you understand? Even, and I want to make this absolutely clear, even if they do say Jehovah. Now look, no one is to stone anyone until I blow this whistle. Do you understand? Even, and I want to make this absolutely clear, even if they do say Jehovah. Now look, no one is to stone anyone until I blow this whistle. Do you understand? Even, and I want to make this absolutely clear, even if they do say Jehovah.
Cool.
Now look, no
Great.
one...
All right, so I think this is probably a good stopping point. There's a few little things in here, like this little yoke up here, which I'm sure is probably like some of the eye socket stuff. So I want to just go in and finish that, and just before we knock off tonight. So like, boop, yeah, just drag that down just to get rid of it. And then what I want to do is come back to this like with just a little bit of a fresh eye, because I'm sure there's things in here that I'm not quite seeing, because I'm not really I'm focusing on it, but like it's too early, you know, to tell. You know what I mean? So I want to be able to like see this with like a fresh eye, so I can really see where like the issues are, or if there is an issue, or if it's like, hey man, you actually worked out pretty well. So I want to just spend a little bit of time with it, you know, right there. So like little things like that, like where it feels like there's a little bit of a design issue, you know, design issue in what I've actually done, not design issue with the actual character, just a design in the actual pose. Okay, right here. Maybe we can get this down a little bit further so it doesn't feel like it's flattening out, you know. Oh, so I can maybe bring it up a little bit for the V, and then bring it out, bring it straight down for that Va. So it's like little things like that. I want to be able to do like a whole cheek pass on this, so we can really see everything that's happening down here being pushed for the expression. Cool, great. Questions, you guys? Anything? All making sense, right? I mean, I'm amazed that like we actually did so much tonight. I wasn't expecting to quite even get this far, but this is fantastic that it's all working out. Pretty happy with that. So yeah, so like the things that we need to do, like the tail, you know, anything like overlappy wise that I can do here in the beginning, which would be nice. Like definitely like the whiskers, the ears. And then looking at the whole thing as a shot, like on ones, just to see if there's anything I can push. Maybe some looseness with the head, like the head wire kind of stuff, you know, like pushing this kind of thing. Like, so if it's like, you know, pushing it so it gets a little bit further out this way, just to anything to break up like that kind of puppet feel, you know, like where I can really kind of get like the difference between that to that, you know, which makes it feel just that little bit more directionality to the actual character, right? So it just gives it a little bit more of a nice play. But I mean, these are things that like they're sort of like in the polish, you know, for sure. But like, but I still want to see if like if there's anything I can do to get that stuff kind of worked out and where it needs to be worked out, right? So I'm just kind of looking for those little spots where the sockets. I'm really pushing the lids underneath there, so I'm not surprised that it's actually poking through the top of his head. But I can't wait to get the whiskers and everything else done on this. Sweet. All right, cool, fantastic. Thank you guys for spending the last almost 2 hours, I guess, you know, with us. But I feel like, you know, now is a good time, because the next one we can talk about polish and overlap and all that kind of stuff. All right. Awesome, you guys. So we'll see you next Wednesday, same time, and have a great week and weekend. All right. Take care, guys. Bye.